going to the 32-yard line and brought down out there. And Demetrius Davis, one of many fine weapons in the arsenal of the Barcelona Dragons. By the way, Davis, his 32nd consecutive game with the reception. That is a World League record. They almost operate a 3 tight end offense, which is very unique, but has been very effective for Coach Jack Bicknell. 2nd down, 3, ball just beyond the 32-yard line. And the handoff to Charles Thompson, former Oklahoma Sooner quarterback, and he takes it close to a first down. In fact, down to the 36 for the first down. Charles Thompson is with H-back Jeremy Burkett from the New York Giants. Receivers Marvin Marshall, along with Sammy Alalampi, the national player, and the tight end is Demetrius Davis. He's already caught a pass today. Kenny Shedd, number 81, checks in now as a wide receiver. Matt Millen, as we see Barcelona with the 1st and 10 from their own 36. Injured player walking off the field is center Bob Meeks. He is out of Auburn University and a longtime starter. And they hate to lose him in the middle. Taking his place will be Joe Garton at the center position. Opening drives have been difficult for Barcelona. 1st down and 10 yards to go from the 36-yard line. Just underway here at Olympic Stadium in Barcelona, and the Dragon quarterback Holcomb throws on the far side, and the pass is caught. And that's another 1st down, a pickup of 12, and Sammy Alalampi picks up the 1st down reception.
I think when you watch this Barcelona offense, the one thing that really stands out is Kelly Holcomb. Now, the thing that Holcomb has is accuracy, and that's what the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are excited about. They have a guy who can get the ball on the mark, and I think as he develops and has the good arm strength, he'll throw the ball deep downfield, but you can't have a guy be too accurate.
And he's a 70% passer. I mean, he is as accurate as they come. 1st down and 10 from the 48-yard line. Good time again for Holcomb, who throws on the wing, and they're looking for Demetrius Davis, and he can't get this one, and a late flag comes in. That's thrown back at the 44-yard line. The offensive line is a big one for the Barcelona Dragons. They've already had one injury, and center Bob Meeks is out, and so Joe Garton will take his place, a former draft pick by the Green Bay Packers. And there's a hold
58,
against the Scottish.
5-yard penalty from the previous spot. 1st down.
Referee Tony Cornetti. There you get a good look at Lewis Age, all 340 pounds on with Rob Sock. Garton now takes the place of Meeks. Fritz Faquir and Chuck Bradley is the right tackle. Penalty of 5 yards moves it to the 46-yard line, where it will be 1st down and 5, and they're working on Meeks on the sideline, as you can see. 43 defense by the Scottish Claymores. No score. We're just into the ball game here in Barcelona as Holcomb again goes to the air, moving up just a bit. And the ball is jarred free on a big-time hit by Gerald Jeffcoat, and it was recovered by the Barcelona Dragons back at their 47-yard line.
You know, when you watch the Scotland defense, the one thing that they do have, they play very well together. And I think that's a testament to their head coach, Ray Wilson. I'm sorry, defensive coordinator, Ray Wilson. Coached in the National Football League for a number of years under the Los Angeles Raiders, won a couple Super Bowls, and he's put together a good package here of this 4-3. Always changing things up and giving different looks all the time.
Penalty pushes it back now. It'll be 2nd down and long, and the handoff for a 2nd time goes to Charles Thompson. And he runs outside before he's lassoed and brought out of bounds at the 49-yard line and a pickup of 2.
The other thing that this Scotland defense does pretty well is it runs well. You saw right there with James Fuller going out there and pulling down Thompson as you look at their defensive line.
DeWitt Jeffcoat, his brother Jim, plays for the Cowboys. Joe O'Brien and David Webb on this 43 defensive look. Every team in the World League plays a 43 defense. A couple teams played the 34 last year, and they changed during the offseason.
They also have Jason Buck, who they just picked up 2 weeks ago, a former #1 pick.
He rotates in every other series. 3rd down and 15 yards to go. About the 49-yard line is Holcomb, who's thrown most of his passes down the middle, tries to get out of the clutches of the defense and can't, brought down by Brian Proby out of Arizona State. The sack is there. That fine defensive play forces a punt for Barcelona.
Yeah, well, he should turn around and thank his secondary because there was no place to throw that football. You're going to watch Holcomb goes by, and you can see the pocket is collapsing, But Holcomb's looking down the field. No place to go with the ball. That's a coverage sack.
Roby is 6'5", 283. Allocated by the Kansas City Chiefs. To punt the ball will be Shane Edge. He's out of Florida. Gets it high and hanging under the ball. Marcus Thomas, a backup running back. Ball landing at the 11 and down at the 10. And that's where the Scottish Claymores will get their first possession today. There you get a good look at Jim Kreiner taking his team to the World Bowl next week in his home field up in Edinburgh, Scotland. We'll be there for Fox Sports. It'll be seen on Sky Sports as well, all over the world. Scottish Claymores will get it for the first time. First possession by Barcelona resulted in a punt. And the Claymores beginning at their own 11-yard line with a first down and 10 yards to go. Kailo is in motion in the backfield. And a quick pitch to Saran Stacy. He takes it over the right side for a gain of about 2, working his way to the 13-yard line. The pitch coming from quarterback Jim Ballard. We talked about him a bit in the pregame. He is off to a great start, a win last week against London with the 3 touchdown passes and the 70% completion rate. And he's the hot hand right now for Coach Jim Kreiner.
Yeah, and he's put in instead of Steve Matthews, and he's got that good cocky attitude that you like in the quarterback. He's got that leader's mentality, and I think that's something they can feed off.
In a game like this with these kind of players, that leadership's got to come from the quarterback.
Absolutely.
Second down and about 8. Again, Stacy with the call, this time over the left side, and burrows his way for a yard, maybe a yard and a half near the 15-yard line. Saran Stacy, as good as there is in the World League, 5 100-yard games this year with Jared Kailo, Yo Murphy. Scott Cooper's the national player, and the Kansas City allocated tight end is Wiley Tate.
Wiley Coyote.
Wiley Coyote. He's a wily player. There's Saran Stacy. Played at Alabama for Gene Stallings.
Had a shot with the Philadelphia Eagles.
Early pick by the Eagles. Coach, that time, Coach Hyde back to pass on 3rd down and 6, and down goes Ballard. Back at the 5-yard line. Had all kinds of pressure, but Ivan Imbernan along with Josh Heinrich came through.
Heinrich does a great job just taking the top side, get to that top shoulder, and then he just blows right by Jim Spencer, and that's a sack. I mean, anytime you can get a step and a half to that top shoulder, something's going to happen. Either your quarterback has to step up or he's going to have to roll out of there.
He leads them with 5 sacks. There's the punt now by the Scottish Claymores, and deep back they've got Marshall retrieving it at the 46, breaks a couple tackles, keeps on his feet. He works to the outside, then finally brought down. A nice tackle made by the Claymores' John DeWitt. But look at the great beginning field position now for Barcelona.
You can't beat it. You know, when you're talking about returners, we talked about this a couple times. 2 things you must have. You have to have instinct, and that's what this is right here. And then you run with your eyes. Not your feet anymore. You're just running to where no one else is. Tries to get to the corner. DeWitt does a good job of running him down.
DeWitt's a defensive lineman. There's Marvin Marshall return the opening
kickoff. Sometimes
kickoff.
the field is your best friend. You know, the boundary is your 12th defender, and that's what he used there.
So good field position here from the 41-yard line. Second possession for Kelly Holcomb, the top-rated quarterback in a variety of categories. And Charles Thompson breaks free inside the 30 and down to the 25-yard line. And a pickup of 15 yards on the play. It was the secondary and the linebackers that eventually stopped Charles Thompson.
Yeah, but what you're seeing right now is a nice job of that Barcelona offensive line starting to open up some holes. Anytime you can get a guy like Thompson into the second level, into that linebackers and secondary, it's going to make something happen because he's got those nice quick feet.
Very
good
patient,
job.
too, waiting for the block to materialize. On the 26, first down and 10 yards to go. No score, first quarter. And the draw play, and again, it's Thompson. This time he trips and he falls ahead, working to the 25, picking up a yard on the play. We talked about the defensive line. The linebackers, a good trio as well for the Scottish Claymores, which shows Emmett Waldron as the middle linebacker, flanked by Arnold Ale and Shannon Jones, number 58.
It's interesting watching the start of this football game. It's been a departure from the regular World League games where they've just come out throwing the ball all over the place. Both these teams have been coming out trying to set up the run.
Second down and 9. And Holcomb again to go to the air. Moves up, needs to get to the 16 for the first down, breaks a tackle, loses the ball, gets it back, gets the first down, and works his way to the 15-yard line. That's pretty good
nice coverage. Yeah, it really is. Sometimes the ball bounces right and sometimes it doesn't. This one, it comes right back like a yo-yo. But you're going to, as this game is going on, you're looking. Scotland is doing a very nice job of coverage down the field. Holcomb, a few times now, has gone back with nowhere to throw the football. That time, he just had the presence to take off and run and pick up the first.
From the 14-yard line, first down, 10 yards to go, showing the blitz. They back off. In fact, they blitzed one, but Charles Thompson will take it outside. He loses the ball, but it's out of bounds inside the 10, and at the 11, you'll make it the 6-yard line.
And this secondary of Scotland is playing well. You see the people, James Fuller, number 20 right there, and Wilson, 25. These guys are smart football players. James Williams, James Fuller, George Coggle, and Forey Duckett all man that secondary pretty well. And the best thing about them is they play off each other very well. You'll see Fuller with a couple of nice plays. He'll come up from behind. He runs well. Probably one of the strengths of their defense. Well, not one of them. Probably is the strength of their defense.
Barcelona, one of the problems they've had is getting in for touchdowns in the scoring zone. Here's a second down, Charles Thompson run. He cut against the grain, worked his way inside the 5, and maneuvers to the 4.
Well, what Thompson does is he runs with his eyes just like a returner. Very instinctive, little water bug out there. The same way he was at Oklahoma as a quarterback in that option. And when you get a guy like that, you try to give him as many options as possible. That is tough for an offensive lineman because you never know where that guy is going to be. So you stay with your guy, and he's kind of like Barry Sanders. And all you do is just stay on him and hope that he's going to make his cut.
But those eyes are always roving, aren't they?
Always.
First down and goal to go near the 3. The tight end comes in motion. That's Burkett. Thompson takes it. He's at the 2 and then blown dead there.
I'll tell you another thing. When you get a running back like Charles Thompson, where he's bouncing all over the place, you always know when he's tired, when he just starts running straight ahead.
He's already carried it 7 times here.
That's a lot of runs. When a guy starts getting tired, you can see it in his eyes, and then pretty soon, you know, that little dive just becomes a straight dive, and it's not the bounce out that it had been.
Ball on the 2, second down goal, no score. 5.5 minutes remaining in the first quarter. They send once again Burkett in motion. And Thompson, who has been the workhorse, is near the goal line, and a fumble on the play. And recovered by Barcelona. He's fumbled a couple times now on this drive. Well, Burkett was the one to jump on the loose ball.
You watch, here's what I'm saying. He's starting to get a little bit tired. Normally, I think he would try to bounce that thing outside. They got that ball out of there, but a good job of Jeremy Burkett of coming up with the ball.
We've seen 2 fumbles on this drive, and he's had troubles fumbling the ball most of the season.
See, they took Kenny Alexander, and they stuck him in at fullback as Holcomb tries to go over and gets in.
Quarterback keeper Kelly Holcomb gets in. Barcelona scores first with 4:42 remaining in the first quarter.
The extra point was good from Scott Zaradian with nothing doing for the Claymores on their next drive. The score at the end of the first quarter remained 7-0 to the Dragons.
Tomorrow night's movie selection on Sky begins with a teen drama.
Cool.
Boards, Blades and Babes, our Monday night premiere, Airborne.
I don't believe this!
He's in for the ride of his life.
Hey.
Eddie Murphy, Beverly Hills Cop 3.
Whatever happened to us?
You fell in love with another woman.
Richard Gere, Sharon Stone, Intersection. Just when you thought it was safe to sleep again, Freddy's back. And those are just 4 of the movies on offer tomorrow night on Sky.
Love is in the air, everywhere I look around. Love is in the air, every sight and every sound. And I don't know if I'm being foolish, don't know if I'm being wise, but it's something that I must believe in. And it's there when I look in your eyes. Love is in the air. People try to put us to just because we get around. Talking about my generation. Things they do look awful. Talking about my generation. I hope I die before I get old. Talking about my generation. This is my generation, baby.
That's my doggy! Nutter! I'll crush you. That's my dog. Smooth. Forget about it, fat boy. Mountain Dew, wild color, smooth taste. Shark! Thank you for the night. Those endless days are sacred days.
One small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.
There can be no whitewash.
I won't forget a single day, believe me. Days I remember all my life. Days when you can't see wrong from right. You took my life, but then I knew that very soon you'd leave me.
Chambers are sinking. Chambers are going down.
Frightened of this world, believe me. Those endless days, those sacred days you gave me.
With Matt Millen, this is Kevin Harlan, our entire Sky Sports crew here at Olympic Stadium in Barcelona, Spain. We begin the second quarter with the World Bowl participant Scottish Claymores down 7-0, and they're working again deep out of their own zone. Jack Bicknell and his Barcelona Dragons have moved the ball well, taking advantage of good field position each and every time they've had the ball. It's second down and a couple yards, and the quarterback keeper is up the middle. And Jim Ballard takes it up. He's part of this rejuvenated offense, this team. It's interesting here the last week of the regular season. One team's going to go play in the championship game. The other team, Matt, is going to stay at home and watch.
But it's not like this Scotland team who's going to be in the championship next week has anything to sit and wait for, because the new quarterback actually gives them something to play for. You have to be able to rally around him and find out what he's about.
Well, he just got the first down. We know he's tough. He's taking some hits, and here he goes deep, and he's got Sean LaChapelle. It's a foot race inside the 30, inside the 20, inside the 10, and knocked out of bounds inside the 5.
That was Jim Ballard right there. That is a big play by Ballard. He avoids the rush, steps up in, and then has the presence to find where he has the man-to-man coverage outside. Watch LaChapelle as he's able to get on top of the defender. It's just a stutter and go, just right down the field. Now, LaChapelle is not a guy who's a speed guy, and that's what's killed him in the National Football League. If he had the ability right there to get into the end zone and run away from that defender, he'd be playing in the National Football League all the time.
But he's got it upstairs.
Yes, he does, and he has great hands, and you can depend on him. So he's like a fifth receiver.
So first and goal inside the 5, and they give
Touchdown.
it off to Siran Stacy, and he gets the touchdown. 13 yards already in the game for Stacy, and we're within a point of time.
What the hell are we doing? We just give him one like that? Damn it. Come on, oh, let's go, baby.
Well, I'm going to tell you something. I watched this team, the Scotland team, at the beginning of the season with Steve Matthews, and now I'm watching with Ballard. They're two different teams. Ballard has that certain presence that Matthews didn't have. And he has an ability, obviously, to make a big play, as you saw right there.
Stacy off to a good start, had a 43-yard touchdown run last week, and here's Gavin Hastings, a much decorated rugby player here in Europe, and he knocks it through for the extra point, tying the game at 7 apiece. And again, the touchdown.
And that's just power football, and Siran Stacy just finding the crack and getting his feet in there. See the patience right there as he waits for his guard to come around. and then he just jumps into the end zone.
Paul McCallum tees it up at the 30-yard line. We've got 13:35 remaining in the first half here from Barcelona. We're tied now at 7. Claymores headed to the World Bowl in Barcelona. Losing last week to Frankfurt knocked them out of contention to be the other team there. And the kickoff by McCallum is deep, and Marshall retrieves it on the 6-yard line. He works his way to the 25, and that's where Barcelona will be. Claymores with a nice looking scoring drive. The long pass to Sean LaChapelle from Jim Ballard was key. And there are the two participants in what set up that touchdown run, the 76-yard catch by LaChapelle. 4 plays and only 36 seconds off the clock. So how does Kelly Holcomb respond from his own 26? First down and 10 yards to go. Gives off. And the run to the outside by Terry Wilburn. He has a groin injury, but nonetheless playing. He was limited last week against Frankfurt. And he runs outside and picks up a good chunk of about 7 yards.
What they're doing right now is they are getting the corner pretty easy. You see Jason Buck, defensive end, is not able to hold the outside. And then Wilburn, he sets him up by jumping inside and then bouncing it back outside. Anytime you can make a defender commit, he makes your decision for you.
Second down and a short 4. Wilburn again, this time wrapped up behind the line of scrimmage. Great penetration inside, coming up the middle. Brian Proby was there. Number 67.
Anytime you can beat a guard this easy as Proby does, and you just throw to the side that Fritz Frequeer, and no problem.
Bob Meeks has a sprained ankle. He's out. He's the starting center. So Joe Garton is in there, and they're still working with him. Third down. Loss of a couple on the play. Holcomb's got to get to the 36. He's hit as he throws. A little shuffle pass caught by Wilburn, and he's got the first down. The shuttle pass works to the 37, and they'll move the chains.
I tell you, Holcomb shows presence here.
You know, both these quarterbacks have shown a lot of moxie early in the game.
This is what I expected out of this World Football League. I expected young quarterback development
with a little swagger to him.
Yeah, and this kind of a deal right here. This Kelly Holcomb, he's getting his chance. He's improving. He knows he's using this as a training camp before training camp. You can't buy experience. You have to go out and get it. And he's gotten it this year.
You wonder if this will set a precedent. Other backup quarterbacks will want to come over here and get that experience.
I think a lot of guys are afraid to come here because they don't want to get hurt. And
the teams don't want them to get hurt either because they've invested all this money in
On the other hand, you can't just say, all right, we're going to go out every day and throw in drills. There's no better teacher than getting game experience, and Holcomb's picked that up a lot.
See on the back of his helmet there, the Tampa Bay Buccaneer insignia. That was an incomplete pass, by the way, on first down to Bryce Burnett, bringing up second down and 10 in a 7-7 ball game. Second quarter, 11.5 minutes remaining in the first half. From the 37-yard line, Holcomb with pretty good time again. This time he's got the receiver, and it's a first down. And a nice catch and subsequent run by Jeremy Burkett. He doesn't catch a lot of passes, plays for the New York Giants. That time he was zeroed in on by quarterback Kelly Holcomb.
Holcomb's getting nice protection up front. And the thing you like about him is he makes his decision and the ball comes out quick.
Burkett, of course, from the New York Giants. He just caught the pass, but you see Holcomb from Tampa Bay, Marshall from the Buccaneers as well, and Alfonso Browning from the Washington Redskins. First down and 10. Handoff to Wilburn, and he sidesteps the defender, then is whacked after a gain of 2 to the 45.
I actually expected to see a little bit more quarterback development this year in this league, but what the league turned into was developing that offensive line, which is great. I mean, both of those positions are positions where you only get better with play after play after play of live football play.
And like you said before, all the drills in the world can't shore up to this. Second down and 8. Good block on the wing that affords Holcomb some time. In fact, he runs to the side where he got the big block, and he looks downfield and throws to Burkett, who just caught a nice pass and takes this down to the 21-yard line. And on the play, he picks up 24 yards.
He just runs away from the linebacker, number 56, Arnold L.A. Now, as your quarterback breaks down protection, he starts to roll. As a receiver, you must come back to your quarterback, and that's exactly what he does. It's a nice job there by Burkett of finding the quarterback and getting open.
In a tight end-oriented offense. First down, 10 yards to go from the 21. We're tied at 7 in the second quarter. Wilburn again up the middle. Wilburn is 212 pounds out of Tennessee Chattanooga, 23 years old. And one of the better pass-catching running backs in the world.
And also a north-south runner, and I like that. You know, you see guys, you got a guy like Charles Thompson's bouncing all over the place. I like guys who take the ball and go straight ahead.
Well, he's got the body to do it.
Yeah, and he's a tough little guy. Not so little at 212.
No, he's eating pretty well. Second down and 5. Wilburn again.
That's a great example.
Right up the middle. Breaks a tackle inside the 5 and a touchdown.
And that's what I'm talking about, north-south. See how that thing started to develop. A nice job of the offensive line of getting the defense starting to move to their right. And then all Wilburn does is just goes right up inside. Gets everybody to overcommit to the side and boom, hits it back inside. Watch, you're going to start to the left. Watch how the defense starts to move to their left. And then he just takes it back inside. Cuts back in against the momentum of the defense and picks up 6. But again, straight ahead, nice north-south running.
And out of the Tony Sacca hold, Scott Zaretti will split the uprights and put Barcelona on top 14-7.
The Dragons and Claymores then exchange punts, taking this fast-moving game to halftime and a score of 7-14 to Barcelona.
You're watching Sky Sports 2.
Our country's pride is at stake. Scotland face New Zealand in their second test clash. Will they return home with their heads held high? Brilliant! From Auckland to Sydney, and the Wallabies mean business after their first test triumph. Australia against Wales, but the question is...
Can Wales do it here?
A worldwide rugby double bill starting in the early hours of next Saturday from 3:25 a.m. live on Sky Sports.
Coffee, I take tea, my dear. I like my toast on one side. You can hear it in my accent when I talk. I'm an English.
Whatever's going on outside, you'll always feel really good inside.
I think it's all over. It is now.
The new Rover 200.
We're here to right a wrong, Mums. Kellogg's Rice Krispies aren't just puffs of air. They're full of complex carbohydrate.
And have vitamin D, which helps build teeth and bones.
As much iron as a portion of spinach.
Sounds great.
And you thought Kellogg's Rice Krispies were just snap, crackle and pop.
So the view of progressive computer business design is that the breakthrough in technology based on one frighteningly simple idea and some long-standing European research. You do need to buy German high-tech stocks. Now's the time to do it. All your old ideas about computer design and function, then come up with a new four-dimensional concept.
I've seen a better way.
Start afresh.
Whatever business you're in, it pays to watch EBN. European Business News. It's business as you've never seen it before.
Brother William, Grandma Simpson, Cardinal Velasquez.
You know what would be heaven? Whole marinated chicken breast in a hot and spicy crispy coating. The KFC Zinger Burger.
Genghis Khan, Vlad the Impaler.
The spicy KFC Zinger Burger. It's finger-licking good.
So you can enjoy your golden crumbly daily digestive as close to freshly baked as possible, McVitie's has developed a way of keeping them fresher even when you've opened the pack. With this really
It's got a sticky thing that makes it stay shut.
Thank you. Here's a pack I opened earlier. Still deliciously fresh and crumbly.
McVitie's. You have to go a long, long way to bake a better biscuit.
Think you've got a voice like an angel or one that sounds like a drain? Well, let's hear it on the karaoke line. 10 different songs every week to croon to, scream to, squawk to, or completely annihilate. Call now and join in, or take a listen to the good, the bad, and the barking mad from last week. The karaoke line. Give it a call and let rip.
And Paul Cole with the kickoff. Short. It's very short and picked up by Marcus Thomas, who has some blocking ahead, cuts inside.
Oh, boy, that's a nice run.
Just ramrodded somebody at the 39 and pushes it past the 40. And so a little bit of a Scottish Claymores will get it. And there you see Kelly Holcomb. And no word yet as to whether he returned. I guess the option is the sideline, but the Tampa Bay Buccaneers would like to see him stay on the side.
I would think so. I would think Jack McNell is going to have to make that choice also. And then I think Kelly Holcomb himself has to be able to step up there and say, look, I'm not going to jeopardize it at this point.
He's proven about everything he can prove in a season.
Yeah, I think he probably had a pretty good football season.
Second overall in the league in passing, so we could see a lot of Saka the remaining 2 quarters of this game. Here's a 1st and 10 rollout by the quarterback, Jim Ballard.
Nice.
And a nice catch by Yo Murphy for a first down, a gain of 14 yards to the 45-yard line.
Again, they come out with that half roll offense, which I like. I think that's smart. That's smart coaching and good football. I'm just going to do the play action and then just, we used to call that dash. Just that half roll, and it gives you time. But what it does, it limits you as a quarterback because now you're only going to go to half the field.
Murphy's already recorded 5 catches today, 57 yards. Great effort from him. First down and 10 yards to go, just outside the 45. And off goes to Ciaran Stacy, and he gets 3 to the 42.
Boy, it was a nice collision on the right side.
Which you like.
Yeah, that was good football. Tom Barnt coming out, taking on the outside. It's going to be right in front of you. Watch Barnt, 71 comes right here. Boom, there's a nice shot right there. That's good defense. It turns everything back inside and allows the play to be made.
Ciaran Stacy led the league in all-purpose yards a year ago, close to that this year. Fake handoff and a quick throw to the wing, caught by Stacy. He's got the first down and more. Stacy inside the 30 and to the 25-yard line.
There's a nice block downfield by 78 Spencer. Oh, I'm sorry, Keith Wagner. Wagner, they do that. Just a quick pass to the outside. You're going to see go the fake, throw it outside. Now I want you to watch 78 Wagner. He's all the way downfield already. Actually, maybe to the little illegal side, as he left before the ball was thrown, but it's not seen, not called, and it's a big play.
Redskins allocated player, Keith Wagner, number 78. Off in the 26, 1st and 10. Stacy again. Looks like they want to run the ball to begin this half. He doesn't pick up much, and there's a late flag thrown from the secondary.
Keith Wagner, that offensive tackle, allocated by the Redskins. The Redskins like him. They sent him over here to get the reps. Norv Turner is hoping that he can maybe provide some depth for that offensive
illegal
line.
crackback block against the offense, number 83. 15-yard penalty from the previous spot. Repeat, first down.
Well, they caught Yo Murphy cracking back. They're calling it illegal. Not quite in there. You can see him right there, so we must have been working on Middleton.
Wonder what his middle name is. What if it were Yo?
Yo-Yo. Yo-Yo.
Yo Murphy.
Llewellyn Murphy is his name.
And his younger sibling could not say Llewellyn, so he said Yo, and that's a name that stuck with him throughout his 24 years. First down now and a ton to go with the penalty in tow, and they dump it on the wing, and the tight end Willie Tate hauls it in and brings it to the 37-yard line. And he picks up 4 on the play. Brought down on the wing by Eric Naposki, playing his last game as a professional football player overseas. He'll go back to Los Angeles in the offseason,
where he has a martial arts school
yes,
and also a security business. And he has that good look. Leposki's got that good.
He's got the frame, too. 6'2", 255. Not a guy you want to run into.
No hair.
Yeah, your kind of guy. Second down and 20. And Ballard moves up nicely to avoid the rush. He's looking deep downfield.
Oh, nice catch.
Cooper, and
beautiful
a touchdown by Scott Cooper. A national player from Strathclyde University.
And a legitimate Einstein-type individual.
Yes, going for his PhD, writing his thesis.
He is an extremely bright guy. Got behind the secondary. I mean, that's a NFL catch right there. Watch Ballard step up to avoid the rush. He stepped now. He knows where he wants to be. Nice job by Wagner on the outside. Throws the ball. Now watch him go up and get this ball. In between coverage as the extra point is shanked.
Gavin Hastings misses that. So it's a crucial miss because the Dragons still lead by 1, 14-13.
Jack Bicknell wasn't impressed by Cooperman's performance. He put Kelly Holcomb back in as quarterback, but despite his efforts, the drive resulted in a punt. However, it was a Shane Edge special, leaving the Claymores driving from their own 6-yard line.
First down and 10 yards to go, and rolling out of that pocket again. And a safety touchdown. And it's a loose ball. They call it a safety.
They should give him that 6 points. That is a big play right there.
Josh Heinrich, the allocated player from the Detroit Lions, with the sack and the safety.
Came off the corner. They went with that dash right to get away from the rush. Heinrich beats the man. Now, I got to tell you, I think this is a fumble, and this should be a touchdown. Watch Heinrich works back inside. They're trying to block him. With the tight end, that ball is out and loose, and that's a fumble, and this should be 6 points.
Heinrich, his second sack today.
Willie Tate is trying to block back inside. You can't let that happen. I mean, you've got to, at that point, you even have to hold if you have to. You can't let your quarterback get drilled in the back.
This is not the kind of game the Scottish Claymores wanted to put into it.
No, I agree with you. They wanted to try to build on something and trying to get that offense working for Ballard so they have something to take in to next week's championship game. I got to tell you, after watching Frankfurt last night, I'll say Frankfurt will beat this team if they play this way.
And here's a game where you want to build the stature, the competence of your quarterback. He's only started now a second consecutive game, and that's it. He needs to have that confidence building process.
Yeah, and the players around him have to get a feel for it.
McCallum will be kicking off, and there's Sean LaChapelle out for the game with a ankle injury. Here's the punt after the safety, and it's picked up by Marshall, and Marshall weaves through traffic by the 50, inside the 40, and finally knocked out of bounds by Paul McCallum inside the 40-yard line, back at the 34. He's given him great field position all day long.
Well, you get the punt. I mean, remember, after the safety, you give the ball away, and they usually punt. You're allowed to either kick off or punt. Most teams will punt. He just takes it down there, gets a nice blocking along the side, and picks up a big play. Great field position for the 4th time in this game, off of a kick.
Holcomb is back out there. The Barcelona Dragons, though, have been sputtering on offense. They have punted the last 2 possessions. Now they've got it at the 34, and they've got it first down and 10 yards to go, and the handoff to Charles Thompson. Facing the field and works his way to a fumble on the play. And
it looks like Scotland may have it back.
As you often see players do, the Scottish defense thinks they've got it, and indeed they do. So they come back, and they'll try to change their fortune after the safety the last time they had the ball. And there's another fumble by Charles Thompson.
Scotland, first down.
3 today.
Come on, Charles, you got to hold on to it, Charles.
Well, that's what happens when you're trying to make something big happen. Your guy like Charles Thompson, he was just cutting back inside. Tackler hit the ball, dropped it.
So the Scottish Claymores will try to capitalize on this fumble. First down, 10 yards to go from the 32-yard line. Jim Ballard remains as the quarterback, and the second back through is Suan Stacy.
That was a good surge by that offensive line. coming off the ball. The middle of that offensive line for that Claymore offense really doing a good job. Lanzino, Purvis Hunt, Tom Barnt, 2 guards in the center inside. They were really got a good push.
Got him a 7-yard gain.
They get that Purvis Hunt, number 79. You get all that stuff going forward, you're gonna get some yards.
2nd down and 5.
There it is again. That's a nice job.
Stacy's got the 1st down, wrapped around the ankles by Rick Hamilton, but he does lunge ahead near the 45-yard line as Jack Bicknell works the sidelines for Barcelona.
I'll tell you, when you talk to the coaches in this league and they talk about linebacker play, the one guy who always comes up has been Rick Hamilton. They said he is really dominating this league defensively. Number 53, the middle linebacker, was with the Washington Redskins. Kind of a fringe player. He doesn't run that well, but he's got experience and he reads well and he has a good nose for the football, and that's helped him in this league.
He forced a fumble last week that led to a Barcelona touchdown. And here that defense stiffens again as the handoff. Siran Stacy produces nothing at all. Back to the line of scrimmage. It'll be 2nd down.
And in the middle of that thing, you're going to see Rick Hamilton. Now watch Hamilton as he reads, and watch the patience. You'll let the play develop, let your linemen do their job. Just scoot right down the line and stick your face in the middle of that play.
Hamilton told us he's being pursued by the Jets, Denver, Detroit, St. Louis, and Carolina. He's got 6 teams right now that have shown an active interest in his services come this summer in training camp. 2nd down 10. Play action in the roll-on now in the bootleg by the quarterback Ballard, and he dumps it off to Ron Dickerson, who plays running back and has played wide receiver in the NFL, and he picks up about 6 down to the 48.
Watch Rick Hamilton as he drops back into coverage. Now, one of the things you have to learn, you see he's going back and forth. When you're in a zone, you have to read your quarterback, but you also have to be aware of where the receivers are, and that's a feel. And a lot of times, and the way the league is right now, that's what young players have a tough time with.
About 50% for Scotland today on 3rd down conversions. 3rd down and 3, and here's the quarterback Ballard being chased and pursued and ripped out of bounds by Darren Crine. Another sack for Crine today.
Number 2. And again, that is coverage, because Ballard rolled and had time to get rid of that ball, but because of the coverage down the field, he was trying to look for Dickerson, could not get to him. Siran Stacy coming out and Dickerson out there. Now the coverage is there. You can't throw the ball. At that point, he's got to make the decision to throw it away and not take the sack.
So they got a punt.
Ooh, nice
Paul McCallum getting it high, and Marvin Marshall under it at the 9-yard line. He'll take it up the middle, and that's where he breaks free. Marvin Marshall on the fly. Marshall outside the 50. Marshall inside the 45.
Nice return. He has given them great field position all game long. Every time he's touched the ball, he's made plays like this happen. And it's because of that they've had the field position and an ability to throw it in when they've been able to.
1st and 10 from the 45-yard line. There goes a flag, and some bodies were moving.
So what's happened is Marvin Marshall has gotten the great returns, and then offensively, they've had problems, especially the last 4 series. There's Marshall.
Prior to the snap, false start, number 55 on the offense. 5-yard penalty from the previous spot. 1st down.
I like those Tampa Bay wide receivers. If Marshall is a guy that's struggling to make that group, that's a pretty good group down there.
See what he has in the punt returns, and that doesn't even tell a story. He also had the return of the kickoff to open the game,
right,
and then also after the safety gave him great field position. They hadn't been able to do anything with it.
Mark it back 5 yards on the penalty, back to the 49. It's 1st and 15 for Kelly Holcomb, also with Tampa Bay, and the pass is just off the fingertips of Sami Alilampi. A lot of European football in his background. Born in Finland, lives in Helsinki, Finland. Alilampi. Some of the key national players on this Barcelona team. Alilampi, and of course Cole kicks off. Ousmane Bari from France. Holcomb's got time, moves out of the pocket and downfield with the receiver in tow, and it's caught. Alfonso Browning, touchdown, Barcelona.
Corey Duckett had a chance to make a play. It was basically a jump ball. And Duckett let the defender get behind him and then made the mistake of not getting his hand on the ball and gave up the 6 points. Mistake number 1 was letting Browning get behind him. Mistake number 2 was not getting the hand up. He knows it too. Last week he almost caught the game-winning pass against Frankfurt and they ruled it an incompletion. And he bumped into an official. Not on purpose, but just in the heat of the moment. They ejected him from the game. Extra point now coming up from Zarate out of Texas.
Part of the snap, delay a game against the offense. 5-yard penalty from the previous spot. The try will be repeated from the 7-yard line.
They're not doing anything easy for themselves today, are they?
Browning looks good. He's an allocated player from the Washington Redskins. And they've got some good receivers. Yeah, good young receivers.
And Michael Westbrook is a player.
He was injured a lot of last year, too.
Yeah, I think he's got to be able to get to the point where none of that stuff bothers him. He doesn't understand how to play hurt yet.
Zarate knocks it in. The lead climbs to 23-13. Dragons over the Claymores.
Holcomb just buys time. He sees the coverage. Gonna drift a little bit to his right here, and now he's waiting for Browning to get behind. See, Duckett made the mistake. He was in man coverage right there. See how he just didn't get to the ball. Mistake number 1. He turned and looked back at the quarterback, and then by doing that, he lost Browning. And then number 2, the ball was in the air. He didn't get it at the highest point to knock it down, allowed Browning to get behind him.
The Claymores could do nothing with their last possession of the 3rd quarter, so the Dragons held their lead 23-13.
If you're ready for the heat, the excitement, the action, it never stops on Tuesday nights. Catch the biggest stars.
You like being a hero, don't you?
The explosive power.
Are you insured?
You'll be on the edge of your seat every Tuesday night.
I'm looking forward to it.
He betrayed his partner in the name of honor, Bruce Willis.
I'm trying to solve a murder!
Hard-hitting action in striking distance, Tuesday at 10 on the Movie Channel.
I don't drink coffee, I take tea, my dear. I like my toast on one side. You can hear it in my accent when I talk. I'm an English.
Whatever's going on outside, you'll always feel really good inside.
I think it's all over. It is now.
The new Rover 200.
Bad behavior, that's my doggy! Nutter!
I'll crush you.
That's my dog.
Smooth off your butt, fat boy.
Mountain Dew, wild color, smooth taste.
Red is cleaning his teeth. He's chewing pedigree chum, Rask. Because chewing helps control the buildup of harmful plaque, he is left with cleaner, healthier teeth and gums. But all Red cares about is where his next Rask is coming from. Pedigree chum Rask, a chew that acts like a toothbrush.
So the view of progressive computer business design is that the breakthrough in technology based on one frighteningly simple idea and some long-standing European research. You do need to buy German high-tech stocks. Now's the time to do it. All your old ideas about computer design and function, then come up with a new 4-dimensional concept.
I've seen a better way.
Start afresh.
Whatever business you're in, it pays to watch EBN. European Business News. It's business as you've never seen it before.
I'm all out. Can I have one of yours?
If you're determined to cut out smoking, ask your pharmacist.
Nicorette. Enjoy life without cigarettes.
I'm just as choosy with what goes on my hair as with what goes in my column.
Pantene, for hair that looks so healthy it shines.
Hi, I'm Laura Boomer. In life, we all seek direction from time to time, and the ancient art of the tarot has guided many people throughout the centuries. The tarot today could help you understand the future. So call this special number now and hear the power of the tarot at work.
With Matt Millen, this is Kevin Harlan, our entire Sky Sports and Fox Sports crew here in Barcelona, Spain. We begin the fourth quarter with Barcelona on top, 23-13, but an impressive performance nonetheless by a guy trailing by 10, quarterback Jim Ballard. And he opens up with the second down from the 45. And he's got about 4 yards to go. A long three, Ballard to the sideline. Good catch made. Hill makes the grab on the near side, and they get the first down. Well, earlier, the Claymore quarterbacks went to the famous Mega Bowl in Edinburgh, and they got some bowling in. There's Ballard.
When all else fails, go bowling. Now, it's not official, though, because they don't have their names on those shirts. You know, those bowling shirts.
Those silk shirts that you've got so many of.
Yeah, which I'm wearing right now.
Yeah, it's good looking. First and 10. Swings it out. Nice by Stacy. Good block on the wing by Keith Wagner on his feet. Stacy will not go down inside the 20, inside the 16, and brought out of bounds at the 15-yard line. That is good for a gain of 25.
Nice job by Wagner downfield. They've been playing this play all night long. Good running by Saran Stacy. Just taking off, bumping off the blocks. This is what they need. This is what we talked about they needed at the start of this whole series, is they had to get some continuity and some confidence going, and it looks like they have that right now.
I like Wagner's feet. For a big body, he moves well.
That's pretty well.
Yeah, first and 10 from the 15. Stacy again. Hurdles a defender and picks up a quick 6, so he follows a 25-yard gain with the 6-yard gain. They're inside the 10.
We talked at halftime how they only had 7 yards rushing at half, and they had to get that part of their game going. And right now, they're starting to get that going. It's better late than never. And this is part of the offense that they really have to open up the passing game. Because if you only have one part of your offense running, it's easy to zero in.
It's got to be a compliment. Second down, 5 to go inside the 10. Ballard, Stacy, who tripped as he was coming out of the stands, but somehow wedges his way to the 5, and that'll be close to a first down for the Scottish Claymores. We're in the fourth quarter.
You know, a player like Saran Stacy, as you're looking at Jim Kreiner, is tough. He's in a tough position. He runs well, he catches the ball well, but he's also going to be 28 years old. And if you're a National Football League team, you look at him and you say, the guy's 28, you know, I can get a guy 6 years younger, pay him the same or less, and get the same production out of him. So I think that's a tough position for him to be in.
First and goal from the 5. Murphy's 83. The pitch out going to Stacy, and the block by Dickerson gets him into the end zone for a Scottish touchdown.
That's good running. And that's determined running. And that looks like he did when he was at Alabama.
Second rushing touchdown today for Saran Stacy.
Jack Bicknell is one of the greatest complainers I've ever heard on the sideline. Saran Stacy did a very nice job of putting his shoulder down. I got to tell you, that's also a horrendous job of tackling by Barcelona.
Evan Hastings, who has missed an extra point today, knocks that one in, and it's a closer game now at 23-20. Holcomb, first down and 10 yards to go from the 35. He'll go right to work on first down. And he's got a receiver on the near side, and a nice catch made by Kenny Shedd, who's still on his feet by the 30, inside the 25, and to the 22.
I like that kid. I liked him in Chicago. I liked him in special teams, and I like him now. That, they caught him in the zone. And they forced Shed out wide, and then White got behind that first level of defenders. A nice throw by Holcomb, and then watch the run, watch the feet, and the awareness of where he's at. Looks like a scared rabbit running right out there.
Scared but quick.
Scared but quick.
1st and 10 from the 21. No blitz, just the quick handoff, and a guy who is very effective in the second quarter, Terry Wilburn, takes it near the 15-yard line.
You watch a kid like Kenny Shed. I watched him in preseason last year with the Chicago Bears. Then he's a special teams guy, but he's got a chance to play. I mean, all he needs is a break, and that's why he came over here. Came over here just to get more looks, get a few more repetitions, and then get back in Chicago, see if he can't make the team again.
From Northern Iowa, 5'9", 171. 2nd down, about 5 to go. Wilburn again wrapped up, thrown down like a rag doll by John DeWitt. Number 97. Under 11 to play now in the 4th quarter. The Scottish Claymores headed to the World Bowl. They're the team in the white with the gray pants, and the team with the ball, Barcelona, leading by 3. They're trying to get to 500 and avoid their first losing season in franchise history. 3rd down into the end zone and off the fingertips of Bryce Burnett, the tight end. He just about had it.
Holcomb's down.
Again.
Now, Holcomb took a chance there. He had 2 open receivers short, but saw Burnett and tried to hit him in the end zone to get the 6. You're going to go with the waggle. Now, down to his right, there were 2 people. And he just got leveled right there by David Webb.
Ball put down at the 23. This is a 33-yard field goal, and it's perfect by Zaretti. The allocated player from the Kansas City Chiefs, Scott Zaretti, puts it up and through, gets the 3 points on the board. It's 26-20 Barcelona. 1st and 10 from the 45. Down by 6, 10 minutes to play in the game. The Scottish Claymores with Jim Ballard, the pitch out to Ciaran Stacy. He's had a great second half. They can't bring him down as he takes it for about 11 to the 44.
Ciaran Stacy seems to me is one of those guys who gets stronger as the game gets on. Guys start to slow down, and he starts to all of a sudden get faster and stronger. That's a great quality to have. Watch him at the end and watch the power. Dickerson just waiting. But Ciaran Stacy just keeps those legs going.
You think in the NFL his age works against him?
Yeah, I really do. I think it hurts him. I thought when he was in Philadelphia that he was going to have a chance not only to make it, but to do pretty well. And then all of a sudden he was out of the league.
Stacy again on 1st down to the 40-yard line. A quick pitch produces 4 yards.
I got to tell you, in a team like this, Ciaran Stacy's invaluable because he has experience. He's been around. Guys look to him for leadership, and most important is he delivers. Now you get to the, here's the game in the 4th quarter. They're down by 6. Who do you go to? Ciaran Stacy. He'll show you how to get it done.
And he rarely turns the ball over.
You probably just jinxed him.
2nd down and 5. And Ballard gets away. He needs to get to the 34, and he slides shy of the 34. Out of bounds, more at the 35-yard line. That's where they're going to put him out. He's a yard shy. It'll be 3rd and 1.
This is going to be that little dump pass to Stacy. But what happens is Barcelona is right on top of it, and then Ballard just takes off, but he makes one mistake at the end. Then you have a chance you're going to run out of bounds. Don't hit the dirt right there.
He runs heavy, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does. He's got those heavy legs.
3rd and 1. Big down for Jim Ballard, wanting to keep that momentum, keep that rally going. Stacy. And he cuts and he finds Megan Dickerson, who takes it down to the 32, and he's got the 1st down.
Little cross-up right there. What they had been doing is having Dickerson to the strong side, Stacy to the weak side, and then you follow your fullback Dickerson to the strong. What they did there is they have confidence in Stacy's blocking ability, so they come back across weak side and let Dickerson make the 1st down.
And Dickerson will be going to an NFL camp. First and 10 from the 32. Get out of that pocket. The rolling quarterback nails his receiver, Yo Murphy.
I like Ballard.
He picks up 8 in a quick, nice move out of the pocket.
I think we're going to see Jim Ballard have his shot in the NFL. Somebody's going to bring him in. He's playing pretty well.
24, 6'3", 225 pounds, good body.
Moves relatively well. He's not real nifty, but he throws well on the run. And he has that presence that you can't, it's really tough to develop. You either have it or you don't. He's got it.
Second down, 2. Ball with Scotland, and they're down by 6. And the handoff. Stacy, who he was whipped up high. Big hit by Tommy Thigpen.
Chest to chest.
Stacy, nothing doing that time. Wrapped up by Demetrius Edwards. They played some pretty good defense last 2 downs.
Yeah,
This
really
Barcelona Dragon defense is.
Kevin O'Brien right there also. Demetrius Edwards shows up to make the tackle. This is again that run blitz. Right there, O'Brien forces Stacy back inside, and here comes your help.
Big play here, 4th down. They're a pretty good 4th down team, as you can see. They're down by 6. We're in the 4th quarter, and here comes a block, which frees up the quarterback, and Ballard's got the first down to the 20-yard line.
That was well defensed to the point where it backfired on him. They weren't going to let him get outside. Bignell had that. And so as he comes to the top side, watch Naposki up top, they know where they're going to get to. They hold the point, so now Ballard improvises well, comes back inside and picks up a big fourth down, first down.
Nice block, too, by Tom Bart, because that guy was streaming it off the wing. That was Naposki. Here's the handoff on 1st and 10 to Stacy. Inside the 15, inside the 10, into the 9, and another first down.
And that's just classic Saran Stacy running. I mean, he has a kind of a deceptive style. He doesn't look like he's that fast, and all of a sudden he's 7 yards into your secondary. He's kind of smooth. He slashes, just kind of waits.
He doesn't stop, does he?
Yeah, he's very patient, and he's always going forward. You don't see him going backwards very often.
He's got a good body. He's about 200 pounds at 5'10". That's a good build for a running back, and he moves it well. 1st and goal inside the 10. Stacy again. Moves to the 7-yard line. 4th quarter clock ticking at 4:40. Team with the ball down by 6. That's Scotland. Claymore, by the way, is that sword on their helmet, right?
Scottish Claymores, yes.
Ah, his son. Second down and goal. Ballard has trouble, and he's brought down by Ivan Imbernon, the national player. Imbernon is a Barcelona native.
Imbernon was helped by Ballard tripping himself, as this was going to be a naked boot, but he trips right there. I got to tell you, Imbernon was had. He had bit hard on the play action inside, and had Ballard been able to wheel, he would have had a lot of time outside.
3rd down, goal, ball back at the 17-yard line. 3 receivers deployed, and the quick slant in.
Oh!
And it's caught with a great move inside the 5, and a touchdown!
I said it first.
Yo Murphy.
That was a great call. They went with that Z short screen, coming back underneath, clearing everything out, and then you bring your Z receiver, which is Yo Murphy, back under, and then he's just taking a chance inside. And the reason it's a gutsy call is because you're running right back into all your traffic. That's a great effort by Murphy.
He had a 12-yard touchdown reception last week. 17-yarder right there. The game is tied at 26. The all-important extra point by Gavin Hastings, who has missed one already today. That time he is true, and for the first time, the Claymores have a lead in the game at 27-26, and the clock at 3.5 minutes. That was a well-executed, good-looking 7.5-minute drive.
That's for you, Giss. What's up, Giss? That's for you, says that's for you, Giss. He's talking about Lee Gissendaner.
Marvin Marshall inside the 10. They need the position now, and he's given it to him all day long. And let's see if it does. And here he goes. Marshall by the 40 and near the 45.
It seems to me that Barcelona has lost a lot of real close football games this year. Seems like they're always in every game.
With a heartbreaker last week, losing by 3 to Frankfurt.
Now, anytime you can get the ball into Marvin Marshall's hands, you're going to give yourself a chance. I mean, all game long, he has been giving them great field position. Here he takes it out to the 44-yard line. Another short field.
So it's pretty clear. 3.5 minutes to go. Down by a point. Kelly Holcomb, the quarterback. Oh, make it Tony Saka in the game. And a pass. The far side incomplete to Alalampi. Holcomb is out with a bruised right shoulder.
Now what you lose with Saka is mobility. Saka is a pure pocket passer. And so that will help the defense define what they're going to do. If you're going to blitz a guy, you want to blitz a guy where you know he's going to be, not where he's not going to be.
Barcelona has their full complement of timeouts. 3:20 left in the game. Saka throws, caught. Alfonso Browning, a first down. Good move inside. Pick up on the play of 13. He's to the 42.
Oh, there's a flag.
Late flag. You know, Browning last week was ejected because he brushed an official. And he may have been talking after he caught that pass right there, and it looks like it's going to be against Barcelona.
Well, that's going to be Lewis Age if it's anything. And if it is, that's stupid.
As it was for Browning last week. He had a penalty, drove back another 15 yards, and they were really scrambling on the last couple plays of the game.
That's a nice throw by Saka right there. Set up nice, stayed in the pocket, which is where he's going to be, but a nice, strong throw.
Personal foul, number 79, against the offense. 15-yard penalty from the end of the run will repeat, second down.
Personal foul. There's Kelly Holcomb. Played himself a pretty nice football game. They're going to take it back 15 yards from the end of the play. It should be third down if they're going to let the play stand. He said it was at the end of the run, which would have been second down. Lewis Age is number 79. You see him at the top of your screen. He's coming in.
So second down and 12. Saka flush from the pocket. Throws on the run, and he's got the receiver downfield. Great catch by Browning. He maneuvers for the first down and crawls for more. He was untouched, and he's inside the 35.
Hey, and just when I got done talking about Saka and his lack of mobility, he showed some stuff right there. Bounced outside the pocket, bought some time, found Browning. Big play. Watch right here. And the impressive thing is he's a right-handed thrower. He's going to his left, so you have to re-square your shoulders back.
That's hard to do.
It's hard to do.
2:25 remaining in the fourth quarter. Team with the ball, down by a point. The handoff goes to Terry Wilburn on the first down, and he makes it to the 30 and picks up 3 yards. That may be the final play before the 2-minute warning. They got Zaretti, who's a pretty good field goal kicker, and they only need 3, of course, and sure enough, there he is.
And that's what you're playing for right now if you're Scotland. You want to hold them here, make Zaretti have to make that kick.
Zaretti getting ready on the sideline. Second down, 7. They got Browning at the 20. They got Browning at the 15, inside the 10. First and goal to go from the 9 for Barcelona, down by 1, and the clock ticking late in the game.
Now, if you're going to give up a score, you want it to happen fast so that your offense has a chance to come back and score themselves. Saka looks tough here. I mean, he comes right out, decisive, knows where he wants to go with the balls, delivered. Must be that good Penn State tutoring.
Well, I wouldn't get carried away with that, but that might be one thing to talk about, sure. You Penn State Nittany Lion. First down goal to go inside the 10. Wilburn, cutting and slashing. He's inside the 5 to the 2.
That's nice running. Again, we saw that in the second quarter. I would stay with this kid, Wilburn. I think he's pretty good. He's a north-south guy. Gives you a chance. Again, like Saran Stacy, never going backwards. He's always going forward.
Scott Zaretti has been in situations like this before. As you can see, he's won a couple games with late heroics. We're at 53 seconds, the clock ticking. Second and goal. Alalampi's in motion. Wilburn gets the call. Getting the block from the big Bryce Burnett tight end movement inside. He cannot get in.
They're going to stop the clock with 35 seconds so they can get out of their ball in play. Now they're trying to run behind Lewis Age and just get a nice surge defensively. Waldron in there, Jones in there.
Quarterback sneak, boom.
You like that call, Matt?
I like the way it sounds.
Sounds like a football play, doesn't it?
Yeah. Let's see what
Sounds
Sackett
like
does now. They're going to do the quarterback sneak. A good quarterback sneaker will take a delay step and then watch and let it develop first. Let's see if he does that.
Saka will take his 6'5" frame and over the right side. He got in. Touchdown.
Ooh, that's a tough call.
Barcelona's gone on top with 32 seconds to play.
You see how he took the delay step, you let things develop, and then you get over the line of scrimmage.
Now they want to go for 2.
They're going to go for 2.
Just in case.
Right. With 30 seconds left to go, you'd need a great return and then some big plays.
Jordy London. 960, Jordy London.
See how he developed. Now, remember, the ball has to break the plane.
And that's all.
And that's what he did, because he never got in, but the ball did.
32-27 is the score. They try for the 2-point conversion. Saka. And it's almost picked off and dropped. It's incomplete, and so the score does remain 32-27. The Dragons. Clock at 32 seconds, and that's what the Claymores will have to work with as they wind up the regular part of the season. And Jim Kreiner and his team headed for the World Bowl next week.
Take Garrick out. Okay, forget the goddamn fake. They're going to squib kick it, okay? Okay, so they're gonna squib kick it, so we want to fill that sucker and get it going. Try to keep it alive, okay? All right, they're gonna squib it. So you guys up front, cheat up a little bit. You know, the halfbacks and so forth, where you can field it. Okay?
That's right.
Yeah.
That's a
All
good
right, let's
point.
go, man. Return.
With the squib kick, you want to try to get that thing under control as fast as you can. The sooner you control it, the better return you're going to have.
Move up. Fuller, you move up. You and David move up.
The other thing working against the Claymores is once they get the ball, they have no timeouts with which to work.
That Alonzo Browning really came up big in the fourth quarter for Barcelona, didn't he? A couple of big plays.
He's a nice looking receiver.
Yes, he is.
Al Cole will kick this off, number 31, the national player for Barcelona.
They would help themselves if they can get the ball out to about the 40-yard line. Shorten the field to 60 yards.
And Cole's kickoff. Well done on the ground and picked up. And brought up field. And a nice move put on by James Williams, a cornerback, who got out of bounds, stopping the clock, and that's important with 25 seconds to play.
25 seconds, you got a short field, they're in good shape. Let's see what Ballard can do.
Where they pull this out. Now they enter the World Bowl next week in tremendous fashion.
What they've got to do here, because of no timeouts, you have to defend the perimeter. So I would expect Ballard to be throwing deep outs near the sideline to be able to make the catch and then get out of bounds. So you don't defend the middle of the field.
4 receivers platoon, 1st and 10, and the pitch to the near side is caught. Out of bounds they go. It's caught by Scott Cooper, who's caught a touchdown pass today. They get the first down. They stop the clock at 21 seconds.
That's Scott Cooper's playing pretty good.
He's not a bad player at all.
Yeah, he does all right.
a national player.
Scott Cooper.
Aye. Just always say aye. 21 seconds.
Again, defend the sideline. They've got to throw outs. One more completion, you can take a shot into the end zone, but you still here have to throw. That's okay.
Knocked down at the line by Vince Stewart.
That's all right with 15 seconds. They need a completion to about the 25-yard line, right around there, and get out of bounds. Then you can take your shot into the end zone and use the whole field. But at this point, you have to defend the perimeter outside, because that's where they're going to throw.
Second down and 10. Ballard moves up, avoids the rush, looks downfield.
Gotta hurry up.
Siran Stacy.
That's a tough try right there. 4-3-2. That's the game, boys.
No timeouts to stop the clock. It's over, and Barcelona has won it 32-27.
And that's why you have to throw to the perimeter. Although the game cannot end on a flag, and there is a flag down.
Flag down at the 14-yard line.
Now, if I'm Jack McNell, I get my team off the field as fast as I can. What?
If it's a defensive penalty, it cannot end.
That's correct.
What?
That's why you have to throw that ball outside to give them a chance to get out of bounds.
Conclusion of the game. Game has ended.
Game has ended.
Good football game. Good football game. Same ending as we had with the Monarchs, but definitely good football game. Now, when I look at the Claymores the last couple of weeks, they seem to be going downhill, especially their defense giving up a lot of points.
Yeah, you got to remember that the defense is playing without Ty Parton and Herman Carroll. That's half their starting defensive line is injured and had to go back home. So it's still kind of makeshift. And you notice teams are starting to try to pick a bit on Forey Duckett. I think they've decided that that's the side they want to go to, and that's where they're throwing. But David Webb's back, and he put Kelly Holcomb out, and our permanent guest there, and the thing is really good at hurting quarterbacks.
You know, when you look at the Claymores, what would you say would be the key to them offensively?
Saran Stacy. If Saran Stacy runs the ball and gains yardage, they should win. I'm not sure we'll see all that rolling out next week. I have the feeling that they had Ballard rolling out simply to not give away too much for the World Bowl next week.
All right, great play with from Ballard to Yo Murphy down at the stretch. Good touchdown pass.
Yeah, and before we take a look at that, let's take a look at the other bit of Saran Stacy running, which is now what the key here is. Tom Bart, the offside guard, is going to pull, and Jared Caliahalo, who's the fullback, is going to seal. So the defensive end here, when he comes across, Caliahalo is going to block him inside, and Bart, who's pulling, is going to get the linebacker who comes up, and that leaves the hole for Saran Stacy. And what made it great is simply the impact that Bart has as he comes on the pull. Look at that, boom. And there it goes. And when you see the replay, you'll see the impact a lot better. They didn't get a lot of yardage on that, but one of the things that Saran Stacy does so well, and you see Bart, he actually starts off beforehand, but look at him lower the boom there. And one of the things Saran does so well is they were talking about it. He keeps going in the fourth quarter, and so does the offensive line, and that's what makes it really tough for the defense.
Is there a quarterback saga now in Scotland?
I don't think so. I think Jim Ballard played really well, and he'll probably get the start in the last game. He's done everything they've asked of him.
And I'm sure the receivers, you know, like playing for Ballard because he spreads the ball around much more.
That's the key to the whole, and that's what they wanted Steve Matthews to do for weeks. And this pass to Yo Murphy was a real beauty, and we can take a look at that delayed screen to the wide receiver. And you'll see now, Yo Murphy's way out here, and you'll see him go when we start. And if we stop it, yep, right there, what you'll see is the defensive line is coming in, and you see these guys here? They're the ones who are setting up the screen for Yo Murphy, who's there. So Ballard's going to let them come on, and then he's going to hit Yo Murphy, and Yo's going to head across the field. So now we run it, and you see the way they're setting the screen. Yo moves behind it. It's a great call, and some good running by Yo Murphy. He makes a lovely cut there, keeps his balance, And now you want to see concentration. Watch this right here. Watch that judge, the side judge, make that call, even though he's going to fall over backwards onto his butt. Now watch this as we run it forward now. He's up, he's over, but he's still got his hands in the air. That's concentration.
Now, I mean, we looked at some positive highlights from the Claymores, but they still lost this game. Does this loss mean anything to them?
I don't really think so. I think they're playing hard right to the end. I don't think it's that bad. It's a tough game to play. You know you're in that World Bowl. The other team's not. And the one thing to say is what a balanced season. Scotland's 7-3, Ryan's 3-7, and Ryan at 3-7 beat the two teams at the top of the table.
Okay, so there's only one game left of the 1996 World League season, and there's only one place you can see it live, and that's here on Sky Sports. First up, though, join Mike, G, and myself in Edinburgh for End Zone as we review the regular season and set our sights for the big one from Murrayfield on Sunday. You can see that on Sky Sports 2 at 7 p.m., and there's 2 further chances for you to see it on Saturday. Then it's the big one, the World Bowl, exclusively live from Murrayfield on Sunday. The fun starts at 5:30 p.m. on Sky Sports 2. You can also catch the action on Sky Sports on Monday from midday. Yes, I do hope you can join us for that. Mike is off to Frankfurt this week to meet the players who could yet ruin the party for Scotland. And I'll be in Glasgow for most of the week, bringing you the inside stories from there. But for tonight, it's well done to the Frankfurt Galaxy, defending champions, and who knows, maybe the first team ever to defend the title. We'll see you next week to find out.
Coming soon.